I figured out that actually there is no good open source IDE for Ruby. And back then I was doing mostly PHP, and I used to love, and I still do, NetBeans. Back then, NetBeans still supported Vim, but they were going to discontinue its support for Vim, so I decided to find something else. And for a while, I was using Sublime, and it was okay. I think this is a very nice editor. But one thing that I liked very much, it was my goal, was to keep kind of a config that I could use everywhere, the very same, and I was struggling to do that with Sublime. And then I watched this very nice talk about Vim, and the guy doing super cool stuff, and I was, whoa. So Vim is actually very powerful. We hear many people say so, but sometimes we just don't get the chance, or we don't give it the chance to get to know these very nice features. And then I started just trying to figure out if there was anybody else that actually used Vim, what kind of people do that, because it must be very crazy, right? Because you open the editor and you struggle to quit. And when you manage to copy a line and paste a line, you think, hey, I'm a Vim ninja. And actually, there are many people using Vim on daily basis, full time. For example, if you go to the Zen project, there is, I'm not sure what is the pronunciation of his name, but Matthew Ware Ofini, the lead dev of Zen, he actually uses that for quite a few time, like 10 years now. And so most of the code base of Zen was actually written on Vim. And that is not a stupid guy, I would think. So there must be something about Vim that I'm missing out. And then, first of all, I don't have slides, but I do have this, this post. M. Jacobus, this is my GitHub handler, github.io. You'll find there using Vim as PHP IDE. I will use this as kind of a script to go through the talk. And then, well, I decided to give it a try. Okay, not this. It's kind of crazy now. I don't know. There's two Chromes right now, and one just appears sometimes. But yeah, so I started wondering what are the cool features about Vim that these people use, and there were some things that I already knew about Vim, and for example, Vim has been around for a very long time, and if it's still available on every system, there must be a reason for that, and this is very very stable. One good thing about that is that it's terminal based. So it's very fast. It's very nice that you can, if you want to do remote pair programming, for example, Vim or even Emacs is a really cool choice, because you just SSH into the guy computer, and you are ready to go. You don't need this very expensive screen sharing stuff. You don't need that. Well, it's available on every machine. When you SSH to a server, you will have access to that. So you will be stuck to that unless you're really familiar with that, and you will rejoice that you actually have Vim there. Yeah, basically that's it. And you can dismiss the mouse. This apparently is something, this is not a good idea, but it actually is. When you're not used to use the mouse, this can be very productive. You don't have to carry around a mouse, and who likes a touchpad really, right? All right, and I came to learn that it's very extensible, very customizable. One thing that I like very much is that you can put your config to GitHub, for example. So in every machine that you go, you don't have your special config. You just clone that, and then you're ready to go with the exact same shortcuts, exact same everything. So it's like you have your IDE in every computer that you access. And once you get very comfortable with Vim, actually you get very productive instead of stuck. Yeah, and plus you get to be cool, right? Because Vim is cool. That's, yeah, all the cool kids are doing that, are the crazy ones. All right, so it's very difficult to get started, but how do you do that? You have to think of Vim kind of how you learn to type. Because you probably remember when you didn't know how to type properly, you used 2 or 3 fingers, and somehow you managed to do that very, very fast. And then someday you decided that you would use all your fingers, and for some reason you get slower because you were struggling with that. But as time passes by, you get used to that, and you totally overcome that slowness in the beginning. But of course, this is very painful in the beginning. How I did that? I just decided to go for that, and I decided to myself, all right, so these 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, I will only use Vim. And that was very frustrating. The first week, I just hated it. But really, you have to endure, because the second week, you get used to that, and then you just love that, and it becomes very natural and useful. All right, so Vim. Let's open this guy. Let me open something here. I don't know. Oops. Source file, this guy. One thing that you have to learn about Vim is it has modes, right? So whatever text editor you open, you type stuff, it just appears on the screen magically, and you just like that. But actually, most of the time you're working on code or whatever kind of text you're doing, you're actually doing formatting and aligning and whatever. So you're not really typing all the time, right? So Vim has this normal mode, which is the mode that it loads when you first open Vim. And if you want to edit some stuff, you have to enter the insert mode. And probably all of you know the simplest way to do so is by typing I. And then you can just write. Magical, right? And then if you want to come back from the normal insert mode to the normal mode, you would type ask. Personally, I think this is way too far away, so I map to JJ. Every time I type JJ, this actually exits from insert mode and saves the file. And then I struggle to use ask. All right. And then what you have several ways of entering actually insert mode. For example, if you're in this line and you want to go to the end of line, you would type A, the uppercase A, and you would go to the end of line. Oops, A. Of course. A. See, it's very easy. Okay, one more try. I'm nervous. A, and then you're ready to go, and you go to, so you can think of this as a pen to line or whatever. You can also use A, and then you append to whatever chart you were in, and then you can just start typing. I won't get into detail too much, but you have some cool ways, like for example, the capital O, you would prepend a line, and then you would enter insert mode. Or if you just type O, you are doing that on the next line. And if you are on a method here, for example, you just type O and you are inside your method. Moving around with Vim, one of the first things that you have to do if you want to give it a try is to disable the arrow keys, because they are evil. There is actually an easier way to move around with Vim, and this is the H. I'm on E, right? H, it's left. H, J, it goes down, down, down. K, it goes up, 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 and L, it goes right. So what's the point of that? The point is that you never leave your home key, home whatever. I don't remember what's the name. Do you remember? Home row.
Yeah, just the 10 fingers position.
Yes, yes. And then you stay there. It's more comfortable. You don't need to go to your arrow keys, which is very far away. You don't want to do that. And then you have other kinds of movements. All of these are movements, right? So you have like, for example, if you type 0, you go to the beginning of the line. And if you want to move one word, you would type W, which stands for word, right? So it's not very difficult to remember that. Word, 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 you're moving words. You have two different types of words in Vim. For example, let me do here. If you have an IP, for example, 1.2.3.4.6, whatever, if you are in the beginning and you type word, it will be every character here will be a word. If you are here, word will go to the next dot. If you type the uppercase W, it will go to the next word, which I don't have in the same line, so let's do that. It's easier to understand. Okay, word, it will go to the next block without spaces, so it's different kind of words. And then you can combine these movements and everything else with commands. And one command that conquered my heart was change. The command change is very nice. What is the command change? For example, here we have this guy, and I want to rename that to foo, because we love foo, right? So what do? I can either go to the beginning of the word and do CW, change, word, and then I'm now ready to type. If I were in the middle of the word, I could do CIW, which stands for change inside word. So you don't have actually to remember CI. What's CI? It's nothing. In your mind, you think change word, and this is kind of extension of your brain, right? And you just type that. What else? And this change command, it will actually work with many things. For example, if I am, it's crazy. Okay. If I want to change inside the parentheses, for example, what would you guess I would do? Sorry? Well, C, I, open or close parentheses, and then you are ready to edit whatever is there. Then this is obviously a mess, and one important thing to learn is how to undo things. And undo, you will undo with the U. So there you go. If you want to change inside this block, this method, you want to delete everything inside of that. What would you do? You have the delete command, which is D, and then it will accept a movement so it knows where to delete. So you can do delete inside and open brackets or whatever.
DJ.
DJ, what is that?
Should work also.
DJ.
DJ.
D?
J.
Yes.
G.
J, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, DJ. Whoa, cool. What is that?
Yeah, just delete and one down. The actual right.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, because you're here and then, of course. But if you happen to have many lines here and you do DJ, you delete only 2 lines, right? So if you want to delete all the 4 lines below that, you can do D, is it 4, J, and then you do the same. Because you can repeat whatever command that you have, you can prefix that with a number, so it will do that command that many times. For example, dd, no, not this one, dd. Yeah, dd will delete a line. I suppose if I do for dd, I would delete 4 lines. All right, and this is why I like this. You can see there. This is called relative number. We have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and this is line 32. This is line 33. It is helpful because you can delete, you know, you don't have to count how many lines here. You know that is 4, so delete 4j or down, and you delete that. And yeah, then you're ready to go. So delete will delete, and you still be in the normal mode, but when you use the change, then you are deleting plus entering insert mode, so you can actually change whatever is inside. There is one very powerful command, which is the dot. For example, loop. Oops. Loop. Yeah, so I'm here in the line 25. If you want to find any text in the buffer, the file, you would do slash and loop, for example. This is what I did. Loop W. And there I go, right? So I have here all the words that if I do next, I will go for to all the loop guys. I can remove this because this does not belong here. So if I want to rename a variable, I could just as easily go here inside the word, and the star will automatically search for that word. So I can just N, and I'm navigating through all the words. By the way, N stands for next, right? If you do the big N, you go backwards. So let's say I want just to change this to loop time. So change inside word CIW loop time, and then I exit the insert mode. Now I can go to the next by typing N, and then I press the button dot, and whoa, I just did the same action to the next occurrence of that search. And then I can just go and keep going forever and renaming all my variables if I want to do by doing that. All right, what else do we have? We could do, if you want to delete this method, we could do delete or delete inside paragraph, and I delete that. It will consider a paragraph any subsequent lines that are not separated by a blank line. So this is a paragraph. All right, so you have all these, they are called, I think it's text objects, right? Which is paragraph, which is word, which is, I don't know, and you can also customize your text objects. All right, what is the time now? I have no idea. Okay. Autocomplete, right? This is the first thing that we fear when we change to text editor. This is the thing that we miss out the most from our IDEs, and I agree. And this is very important. But we do have autocomplete in Vim. It is not as good as PHP Storm or NetBeans, for example, but it's fairly good. And how you have several different types of autocompletion. You have, for example, if you do this and then call method and then Control-N, it will list all the methods, if I'm not mistaken, in the buffers or the files that are open. And then you do Control-N for next and Control-P for previous, and then you just navigate and choose a word here. All right. So, for example, this storage interface is a Zend cache storage interface. And if I want to call to get the methods from that interface, what I would do is this storage and then arrow, Control X, O, which stands for OmniAuth completion, right? So it is actually listing all the methods that I have in that interface. It uses Ctags. Ctags is a command line tool that will create a tags file. I have here tags. This is a very easy to read file, as you can see. And it indexes all the methods. And it works with many different languages. PHP support is actually not that good. We have exuberant Ctags, which is improvement over that. And there is this patched Ctags that will take in consideration PHP namespace, because as far as I know, the native Ctags won't work with that. And you do that by typing Ctags on your command line. And then right now it's indexing all the files that I have in this project. Of course, depending on the amount of files you have, it will take longer or not so long. Well, let's see.
Sorry. There's some kind of plugins.
This?
Yeah.
No, Ctags will work, I think. Yes, I have many. I will get to that later. But I think for autocomplete, yes, for PHP I do have one, which is PHP Complete, I think is the name. Fortunately, I'm not connected to the internet. I don't know what happened. But you can find that on this post I wrote. And this is kind of improvement for PHP. You can have like file and then Ctrl-Shift-O, and then it should list, for example, file exists, and the native also native functions of PHP. File exists, for example. Yes, and there you go. You have also dictionary completion. I don't have the dictionary enabled here, so everything you want to autocomplete, you would use Ctrl-X and then the type of completion that you want. So we did Ctrl-X-N, the local completion, Ctrl-X-O for this omni whatever completion, which will read this Ctags file, and you have also file completion. For example, if you do slash, or I'm not sure if I have to be inside a string. Let's see, Ctrl-X and then F. You have the files from your file system, and then you can just choose one and then wrong completion. Ctrl-X, Ctrl-F again, and then you just keep going, and then just complete whatever you want. So it actually has auto-completion, and it's fairly good. And yeah, and if you name your methods and classes in a nice manner, probably you won't struggle so much, because names of methods should not be that easy to guess, right? If you have to guess, probably you have something, you don't have a very good interface. What else? We have visual mode. If you type V, for example, you are here, you type V, you will be able to select by using movements, for example, word, or if you are here, V, and then if you type dollar, you go to the end of line, and then you can just go down. But this is not line-wise, right? This is just from the point you start selecting until the end. It will be the same as you clicking with the mouse somewhere and then dragging that to another place. What maybe you mostly use is the line-wise selection, which is the capital V. So you type the big V and you selected the line, and then you just can select. So if you want to select, for example, all this method, or all that is inside this method, what would you do? Yes, if you do VIP, you select this because there's a line break there, right? If you didn't have this line break, you would do VIP, and then you would select inside that paragraph, right? So that's right. Or V inside VI and then brackets, and then you selected whatever is there. You have auto indentation. You use that with equals. Let's see. Let's just mask something here, and I can use equals equals, and it will auto indent. Or I could do, let's do this, I could do equals inside P. So I'm fixing everything in this paragraph, right? Yes, and this is the visual. And you can also use the block-wise selection, which is with the ControlV, and then you just select a block, and you can expand, and then you can do big I to insert, and then you type something, and then you leave the insert mode, and you did that for all your block. One thing that I love is that I don't need to leave my editor to do stuff. For example, testing. Yeah, this is not working. Why? Probably I messed up something. Well, okay, storage. Maybe I don't have the dependencies here. And by the way, this is ControlP, the same as way it works in Sublime. When you do ControlP, then you have this list of files in your project, and then Control-N to ControlP, Control-P. Then you come on. What? No, this is a plugin. This is in the plugin session. Control-P, and then you have the listing, and then you type composer, for example, and there you go. And then you can open this guy. Delayed cache. This is what I want to open. I could do Control-P. Oops, not Control-P. No, I just forgot. Okay. Regular or cache. And yeah. K, Control K to go upwards, Control J, the same as you used to move around to move around here, and then you just select this cache. What is that? Okay, so now I was able to run my test. So I actually wrote a script that will guess what is the test file based on the current file name, and I will run only that guy. And here are my tests, and I don't have to leave the editor. And one thing that I like very much about Vim is that, as you can see, this is very clean. You can work on your file, and you only see code. I often see people using PHP Storm, for example, and then you have this toolbar on the top, and the navigation, and some console in the beginning, and you have like a big screen, and like this of your code. And your code is your job, right? One very nice thing is splits. For example, I just opened the test file in a split. You do that by doing Ctrl-W, by window, and S, and you can do that again. And then you will split horizontally. If you want to split vertically, you can do Ctrl-W, V, and then you split it vertically. You can create tabs. Tab, new. You don't need to type everything. Tab, new. Nope. Tab, new. I think you do need. And then you open a new tab. And then I can open new files here. This is NerdTree. This is also a plugin. And here it's just a regular tree listing of the files. And yeah. And then this is more stuff that you can do. We have macros. For example, let's see, foo, bar, and I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And I want to put this in a list. What I can do here is record a macro to do that. How I do that? I do Q, Q, and I should read recording. Recording. Okay, so I did something wrong. You first read Q to interrupt. Okay, Q, and then it will wait until you pass a letter where you want to store this macro. So if I type A, now it starts recording this macro and the register A for the macros, right? So I will do 0, then insert, then this, and then I will escape. I will go to the end of line, and then I will close the tag like here, and then I type Q again, ask, and then Q again, and now I should be able to execute my macro by doing @Q, and it doesn't work. What's @A? I did that in the A macro, not Q. And I can do this as many times as I want, @A, and here we go. I can select and do norm @A, and here we go. So this is super nice. Actually, I don't use that many times, but sometimes you just extract some data from a file and then you want to put that in an array or whatever, convert a JSON. You just can use this kind of macros. You can execute commands and macros across different buffers. So you could open 10 files, and for example, you decided that you don't want the author doc block in your code. So you can record a macro that will go to all the buffers and just remove that. Sometimes that is very useful, but of course, if you don't use that much, for example, as I don't, you have to go to the manual and relearn how to do that. What else? Yeah, we see Vim has modes. We saw a bunch of different commands, autocomplete, the dot command, the visual mode. Yeah, and here I have a list of plugins that I often use. For example, you saw ControlP, nerd tree, which is a tree of files. We have this for Vim SparkUp is, let me see, I think it's new TMP. Okay, this is HTML, and then if I do div and what? Not this one. Div. Okay, I must have messed up some mappings that I have here, but it should work. HTML 5 and control. I don't remember what I did here. Sorry. When it works, it's very nice. Trust me. All right. Vim repeat is that not everything that we do we can repeat with dot. So this Vim repeat is adding repeat functionalities. For example, some plugins you want to change inside tag or whatever, and then you can repeat with dot. You just use that plugin and you don't have to worry about anything. Vim surround. What I do with Vim surround, let me remember. I can do, for example, change surrounding CS single double quotes and oops. No, I'm doing something wrong here. Change surrounding. Yes. Okay. So what I did here, I'm inside change CS and then surrounding double quote and single quote. I'm doing something very crazy here, sorry. Okay, when I think it doesn't work, maybe that's the problem. Okay, but you can do that. You can go to the manual and see what I'm forgetting to do. All right. I don't have internet here, but there is this very nice plugin which is Gist. I use that a lot. You just type Gist, and then it should open. It will post your file or your contents to the Gist, and then you can share with people. I don't know why in Mac it's not automatically opening here, but it wouldn't work anyway because I have no internet. But this is what it does. It pastes to Gist and open your file. Vim snippets, for example, this guy, I will just delete this, and then I have GC and then I have my class, and here's my class. I can use pub, and then I have my method here. If I'm on test and I do test, I have my test. So just snippets of code, and you can modify. You can have your own, and auto pairs, gist, nursery. You saw tabular for aligning equals, for example, in array if you want. I have also this PHP CS fixer. Okay, let's reset this because okay, something went wrong. I don't know. Maybe Tmux getting in the way again. Yes. Okay. For example, PHP CS fixer. Maybe you know this too. If I do here, I don't know, return something, and I have some messy thing here. Let me just, yeah, and you see this is not aligned right now. And then if I do pff, I'm running PHP CS fixer against this file, and sometimes it just come up very messy, and now it inserted this line here and aligned the variables here, so it's nice linter for your code. I have here this plugin to show the diffs in my file, so as you can see, there's plenty of things that you can have on Vim that probably you wouldn't even imagine if you didn't give it a chance. Yeah, do you have any questions?
What is Hardmode?
All right, Hardmode. Hardmode is a plugin because often you get yourself doing things like I did here. For example, this is not a good thing, you know. Up, up, up. You should be more effective. You should go, for example, 4 down. Or this is a nice plugin. It's fuzzy finder. I don't remember. Leader F, and then I type S, for example, and then it will list all the S occurrences. And then I have here A, S, D, and then if I type L, I'll come here, L, and there I am. So I navigated to that point very quickly. So instead of doing this, I should use more often this plugin, right? So hard mode. If I enable hard mode, now I cannot use H, J, K, L to do this kind of stuff. So I should use more advanced or more optimized movements. So this is something to get in your way, so you actually learn how to navigate better on Vim. Yes, a little bit, but one thing that I don't like about this is that, for example, I don't think this is not a bad practice to do 10 up, but it just won't work with this plugin. Maybe I can customize that. So this is something that I expect to use in the future, you know, but I don't use that often. So it encourages you to use movements like W or one nice thing. For example, you are in this line and you want to go to C. You can do F, C. And then you went to C. So it's find C, basically. And if you type semicolon, you just go to the next C, next C. So now we don't have C's anymore. But if I am here and I want to delete until the parentheses, I can do D, F, T, and I will delete. Oops, there is actually one T in the middle. So D, 2, F, T, and then it's delete until the second T. Or I can do delete, find, and parentheses. Then I will delete and even the parentheses. Or I can do delete till D, T, parentheses, and then I can delete the method name. And then I'm in normal mode, and I can just do the same for change till parentheses, and then I can rename my method. Yeah. Well, I think I'm coming to the end. It's about time. Do you have any questions? What?
How am I using the debugger?
Okay, there is this plugin, vdebug. Yeah. So what happens is it works. Yeah. And then you do. I think I don't do that often because I don't commit mistakes. Sorry. Yeah, just kidding. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't know how to use debug very well. I'm the dump guy. I'm dumping code. So you press, I think, F5, and then it will wait for connection, and then it will. I cannot do this here because I don't have any web access to this application, and then you can use that. It's cool. Sorry? Yes. Yes. Yeah. And
what I was going to say was, if you like, you can check VIM Awesome. There are all basically all VIM plugins available.
All right, I'll check that out. I didn't know.
VIM Awesome.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks. There's also this site, VIM Adventures, where it's a game. So the first thing that you will learn is how to get rid of your arrow keys by using the I don't know. I have to read that actually. HJKL, right? And then you have like this path. You have to go and find, I don't know, the princess of the key or whatever, and you have to use the keys, and then you learn having fun. It's boring. You have Vim Golf. Vim Golf is a very nice website. Vim Golf is you download a gem, and then it will open Vim with no plugins, nothing. And the goal is that you edit the challenge. You have a challenge like this is the initial file, and I want it to be like this. So the goal is that you can edit that file using as little keystrokes as possible. So this is kind of a challenge and game also.
I use Vim mostly on daily basis to access remote servers.
Mm-hmm.
So you showed us Vim with a lot of plugins, but I had to configure Vim on each server.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a solution for that, or you say just use plain Vim?
I don't like this idea of you use FTP to access the server, or I would just SSH and copy your configuration to that user, so you have everything there. Yeah. For example, here this is my .files on GitHub. If you clone this and you do this clone cd blah blah install, then you have all the plugins that I have here. I would just do that in the target server.
Once and then configure.
Yes, and then you have everything the same. I think it's much better and much faster than what you're doing. If I understood, you are connecting through SSH, but using your local Vim. Is it?
I'm using the remote one.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is what you should do. Yeah. Because some people use, for example, edit remote files by using FTP. You're using your local Vim and doing that, but this is old school. You should not do that.
What would you recommend to reconfigure Vim if I use word tastature layout?
If you use what?
Another tastature keyboard layout.
All right.
Another keyboard layout.
It's
It's not English keyboard, but Word.
Yes, it should work anyway. Of course, the positions would be different, but it doesn't matter what is the layout. It matters what is the character that you're sending to Vim.
Yeah, clear, but for example, the buttons for the movement,
Mm-hmm.
they would be like at the unusual places,
Yes.
So is there a plugin, or how would you recommend
Ah, right. So you were used, for example, with the English keyboard, and all of a sudden you face a German keyboard, and you want to have the same places. Is that right? To
For example, yeah.
uh,
German and English are usually similar, but
no, they are not. Yeah, I don't know what is the solution for that. Usually I just curse German language and that's it. I feel better.
probably to remake manual.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
So one question, although it is quite hot out there and lots of people are using it, did you face any big problems using those community plugins which you choose to make it life easier by working with them?
Yes.
They normally work quite well.
They normally work. I have this, I think it's the Vim Surround plugin. There was a very annoying bug. I would type, for example, parentheses, and what it does is automatically closes that for you and keeps you inside. And for some reason, sometimes that would just mess up, and I don't know why. And then I just found for a solution on the internet, and somebody made a fork and fixed that, and that was the solution. But as far as I know, this is the only situation where it happens. I am using right now a fork of Vim called NeoVim. The goal is to add new features and have a better code base, because the Vim code base is actually very messy. And there are some issues with that. But still I'm using that because I think this is a very nice project, and it's worth having these problems and telling the community, hey, I have this, keep in mind that we should fix that, and if I was able to do any C code, I would try to help. I don't know, but usually that's not the case. They just work. Yeah, all right, that's it. Thanks. I hope you are not so afraid of Vim anymore, and you can even give it a try maybe for 2 weeks. You will hate that. Keep that in mind. And after a while, you just love that. Thanks.